I do believe we're live. So I'll say, indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. What a dear pleasure it is to have you here again on another conscious evolution. Another opportunity for us to consider how much practice it takes to master the mind. Is that how I titled my stream? I do think so. We've been doing more hemisync stuff, and I'm doing all of the tapes again. I've done Focus 10's introduction to Focus 10 maybe like 7 times at this point. And it's so interesting to me. Yesterday, we did advanced Focus 10, right? So it teach you how to feel into Focus 10. And then advanced Focus 10, they teach you how to make your resonant energy bubble, your field bubble, your bubble of energy, right? You basically build a bunch of energy in your body, breathing it into your head, and then you have all of this stored energy in your mind. And then you let that mind energy come out and make a bubble around you. And you can activate said bubble by imagining a circle and a 10 in it. Boom, bubble activated. Focus 10 achieved. However, the interesting thing to me is realizing how much practice it takes. It's very fascinating to me, in fact, right? Thinking about your mind as a kind of instrument that you can play, right? And to play any instrument well, you need practice. And you can say, what do you mean, Melt? Fucking practicing, having a mind. I've had a mind my whole life. I've been playing this instrument since day one. Maybe, right? But the same way that I can play my kalimba, kind of, but I don't actually know how to read sheet music. It's kind of like that. You can practice and practice, and you can get good at playing the way you like playing, but you might not be good at playing the way you're supposed to play, right? And I feel like there's a lot of interest, at least in my mind, to explore in what we consider the right way to play is, right? For me, at least in mind, it's this ability to remain calm, right? That's the thing that I noticed, at least in my energy field, to be important to me, is that when I find myself in those spaces, it seems like I am untouchable. The Knicks definitely lost cause Trump was there. I don't know sports. Knicks is basketball? Don't hate me, Dan. But yes, you're right. Royal Pineapple! Hello! Hello, Pineapple. It's nice having you here with us. Royal, I do see that pineapple does have a crown on it. Sick. I like the fact that your profile picture matches your name. Very cool. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Sorry to interrupt, Melt. No problem, Dan. No problem whatsoever. My mind is a you practiced instrument, and I'm so calm and chill and relaxed. Who is the you that has the mind? Now we're going. Now we're going into the questions we should be asking Mojo. Yes. Who is the you that has this mind? I think the me that has this mind is the me that I've always been, right? It's the conscious observer, that part of me that constantly takes in information, takes in energy, takes in experience, takes in emotion, takes in good and bad, takes in up and down, takes in it all indiscriminately, right? Think about that. There's this part of you that can absorb anything. Doesn't matter what it is. Even if it confuses you, there's still a part of you that absorbs it. Even if your mind cannot understand, right? You can like watch a college professor, who has tenure, explain quantum mechanics to all of his students. And you can be there, be like, yeah, wording, and you can be like, what's my mind is not understanding any of this. And that's just because your mind doesn't have practice, right? I think your mind could understand if it had enough practice. However, the part of you that just experiences, that stuff without understanding it, that's you, right? And then the mind is the lens through which you process your experiences. And a processor can come in many different forms, right? You can have a blender as a type of processor. You can throw everything that you experience into said blender, turn it into a homogeneous slush, and then slurp it down easy style, right? However, some things requires you to chew on it. The fuck? The fuck is going on? That's what America is like for me. Yes. I've definitely been having the fuck's going on experience being in America. Good morning, fuck. What? What? I've never had sex in my life. You can't say that about me. Chew on that. Chew on, chew on. I'm chewing. I'm chewing. Jeez. Jeez. Looks myself in the mirror. Am I a fuck? Am I a fucker? Oh my goodness. Let's see what's going on here in chat. Do you like eating pineapple? I love eating pineapple. Like, we have something called queen pineapples in South Africa. They're like little mini ones, right? And I eat them with the skin. I do sometimes cut the little sharpie bitties off, the dry little thorny bits, but the skin, the thick after you chew on it, I do. I love it. I'll even eat the pineapple skin. I tried to eat the green as well, but wasn't it? So yeah, royal pineapple. You better watch yourself. Holy medicine have medical alkaloid terpenes and flavonoids and polyphenols and DNA and microbes and more yet to be discovered within them that bind to our natural receptors, benefiting our health. Yes. Even though these things might be true and we might have our health benefited by these medical alkaloids, the terpenes, the flavonoids, and of course the polyphenols. I don't know about DNA and microbes. DNA usually gets kind of destroyed in the process of adding heat. Microbes too. Unless you're, of course, eating it. That could also have something to do. But I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I'm definitely team holy medicine. However, there is a part of us that has to admit that there can be drawbacks with our holy medicines too, right? Again, practice. It's about your practice. How much intention are you putting into your practice? If you're just holy medicining yourself because you could have a good experience, right? But I found, at least in my personal journey, that if I just do it because, I do it because all the time. I never have no because to do it, right? So that's the part where I've been trying to find more balance in myself. It's nice having you here, Freedom. Tell us more about you. How has your journey been with the holy medicine? What have you noticed in your journey? Have you grown with the medicine? Has it limited you in some ways? I'm curious. You are the Mitsu driver. You, as the Mitsu driver, have a mind. But when you switch into you, as a conscious observer, they seem to be a passive. There seems to be a passive disconnect. I think it's, I feel what you're saying. Passive disconnect, like you're passive in your disconnection, right? Like you're not actively trying to reconnect. However, I don't know if disconnect is necessarily the right word, right? I use the word dissociate, which can be same, but different, right? For me, it's a dissociative thing. And I think dissociation isn't necessarily always a good thing, right? However, when it comes to the practice of mind, I find that sometimes I need some disassociation. I need to just like have a little bit of distance between me and this thing that thinks it knows. And I'm like, how about we just look around and we experience what's here right now? Instead of verbalizing ceaselessly, how about experiencing immediately. And I mean, oh yeah. Yeah, living into the felt fact of our immediate experience, as our Terence McKenna friend used to say. Your profile pic name is giving lol. Nice. Chew on that. Gobbledygook. That's very true, Melt. Process in general differ widely. For example, no. Fuck. For example, the culturing process at Swaggart Products and Services is thorough to ensure a satisfying hip hop and dairy experience. Yes, OG Melt, what's up, man? Hey, Kid D. OGD, it's nice having you here with us. I trusted a Swaggart fart and I messed myself. Can you explain how daylight saving time works? Essentially, they're like, oh wow, the sun is now rising earlier. Now we're going to move our entire day an hour on because the sun has risen earlier to get more sun out of our sun. Yes, boom. Get daylight savings explained, bro. Come to me for other advice and tips and genius level perspective sharing. Yeah, that's essentially what's happening. Apparently, they're trying to make it permanent so that it's just stuck, right? Which I would love. Please do that. Please, like seriously, stop changing the time on me, please. That's good, Gab. Good. Mel, are you still fasting? I am. Day 4. Day 4. Technically, I am 24, 48, 72, 84 hours in. 84 hours into a fast. I feel like I'm still keeping most of my mueslas. They are definitely getting a little bit tight. And I still have lots, look, like lots of food here. I have like a whole lunchbox that is attached to my body. I think I'll be breaking it Thursday morning. Apparently, it's not best to break my fast before I sleep on Wednesday. So I am not looking forward to dancing tomorrow. It's probably going to be very hard. However, I like a challenge. Practicing, tuning my mind into experience. Be like, hey, mind, I know you're like trying to conserve energy or whatever, but how about we spend 700 calories in 1 hour? I think that's the most I've ever burned. Burn like 1/3 of my energy expenditure of my entire day, 24 hours in like 1 hour. Occasionally, I occasionally crash my meat suit. What does that mean, Mojo? You jump into a bed, you run into walls. Don't do that. If that's the case, what does crashing one's meat suit mean? I agree with Melt about that. Yes. Thanks, Gabs. Whatever it is I said. He's agreeing with me, which means you should be agreeing with me too. Yes. Yes, everybody, let's agree. Let's nod together. Yes, wise. Wisdoms. Yep. Saying things that mean something. I'm gonna stop. Well, see, in the spring and summer, the daylight is abundant. So we gather it into baskets and divvy it up during the cold months. Yeah, what Sam said, right? But better than me. The crashed meat suits can be revived with a coddled, I'm gonna say coddled, egg and a Bloody Mary, Mojo. I don't understand, bro. Why do they do that though? Because daylight. They're trying to save on daylight, literally. Right? Think about it. It's like imagine an American culture. Maybe this is why. This is the way I understand it, at least, Kid D. American culture is obsessed with staying busy, right? Chillaxing, just being like chillaxy bobaxy, is like, I don't know if it's frowned upon, but people would be like, huh, why would you do that? Why would you chillaxo bobaxo? Why would you do that? Have you considered not relaxing? Have you considered working 7 jobs instead? That's kind of what America's like. I'm laying it on thick, of course, Kid D. But really, It's like seriously. So every extra hour of daylight they get is a good thing because of all of the working. All right, by the time you're done working, you still have like almost a whole day left ahead of you. Right, you come back 5 p.m. The sun is only setting at 9 p.m. Seriously, like actually. So in that way, it's like wow, look at all of this time for activities. He's still fasting. He now eats 2 meals a day instead of three. No, no, I've had my vitamins and I've had a coffee, black coffee, and some creatine in it as well. But yeah, no calories. I am activating my AMPK pathways. Yes, I am upregulating the amount of growth hormone my body naturally produces to maintain my muscle mass while it burns my fat with my liver, turning little fatty molecules into ketones that my brain actually prefers. I feel really clear, incredibly clear. All right, dangerously clear. Yes, but I don't feel high energy. Right? It's like I can be like clear and chillax, be like, yes, hit me. My mind is practiced. All right, you've been a good sport, Melt. I'll bite. The mind is indeed a lens. And what's most wild about this revelation is realizing how limiting of a lens it is. Oh, yeah. The overwhelming amount of reality is not perceived. Yep. Isn't that a fascinating part of our human experience that we're having right now? You cannot see most of reality. Look around yourself right now and realize you're only seeing but a thin bandwidth, right? Check this. To Stan, what Dan has brought into our collective minds, he is right. The electromagnetic spectrum and what range of human sight can see. Yeah, there you go. Right? So there is the spectrum. All of this stuff is going on all around us all the time. Yet that is what we can see. Just a little sliver. Just a little like we're peeking through a little keyhole, staring at reality right now. All right? All right? It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. And in that way, there's a lot more going on here than your eyes will allow you to witness. Right? And it is because your eyes are directly attached to your mind. And your mind has to create this convincing illusion, right? This hallucination, essentially, as to what it thinks is going on. And it really is a it thinks is going on kind of thing, right? Like you literally add visuals here. You can kind of see in your periphery, right? But that whole experiment, if you look at faces, right, and you just look in the middle and these two faces on your periphery keep going, it distorts those faces ridiculously, right? Like it shows you that even something that you are seeing changes when you're not looking, right? Which to me means that nothing we see is actually what it is. I am down to believe that everything we see is different, that I see a literal, completely different reality than you do even, right? And I think in ways it might make the life experience easier or harder on you, depending on what it is you see. And then again, we bring ourselves back to today's stream topic and considering it this matter of mind and how you're practicing your mind, right? Do you practice your mind through the lens of hopefulness, through the lens of evolving, through the lens of, what's the point of it all? Might as well give up, might as well, lay down and not wake up again, all right? No. There's many ways to practice the mind, and I think the best way for us to experience mind is through this perspective of don't know mind, right? Practicing not knowing, practicing curiosity, practicing perspective, practicing hopefulness even is a big one for me. I have ceaseless hope that things will only get better. It doesn't always pan out that way. However, more often than not, it does. And especially so if I believe it to be so. Especially not if I believe it to not be so. He said, egos evolve. Yes, evolve here with us, Dream Tooth. You from South Africa. Yo, dog. Hey, Tony Cruz. That looks like an Afrikaans surname. Cloudy day means stronger coffee, Charia. Do you live where I live? High of 90 today and air quality alert. Yeah, the humidity is not nice. And it is hot. It's hot out there. Apparently, it's going to be the hottest summer in recorded history this year. Sam, how does one coddle an egg? I was also wondering. I was also wondering what's happening there. Like coddling. Like you're supposed to hold it. You're not supposed to eat it, damn it. You'll get all of the energy you need just being like, Melt is so goofy. I love him. Oh God. You'll make me freaking blush. Oh, I'm like already red and stuff, dude. You just can't do that. I don't know. Ask Woodhouse. Gab. So that is Gabby love. You better know it, dude. Master the mind. I like being at peace with it. There we go, Darren. Now we're gaining even more nuance. He's like, don't master your mind. Don't be like about your mind. Be like, with your mind instead. He's right, technically. Being at peace with your mind. Seeing the clouds like weather kind of thing, right, Darren? Like all of this mind space fucking shaking the goodness out of you, and you're like, yeah, this is fine. Do I look perturbed? Nay. Not me. Surely not. But it's not easy. It takes practice. It takes practice, Darren, to get to a point of peace with your own mind. I love that you shared that. I'm looking forward to getting better at it myself, day by day. Hey, goofy goobers, you all. What time currently going there? 9:46. It's 9:45. Hello, Darren. I'm getting informed faster than I can type. Good. Good. Let your mind absorb. Get really practiced at the process of listening. I think that's the thing that I can be better at as well, right? My mind is running so fast that I have a hard time listening, right? And even when I do listen to things, I watch things at 2x speed, right? And then still, sometimes it's too slow. But it's only too slow because, like, it does give me 3x speed. Like, I actually do sometimes watch things at 3x speed. But then it's the audio that starts getting messed up, and then I no longer can absorb the information as adequately. So in that way, right, I can't just 2x speed reality. I have to be like, let me practice some peace. Yes. As I allow myself to absorb this information. America is super lame. I'm way over it. America is just this constant loop of, oh, this is going to be good. And then profit motive comes in and totally ruins it every damn time. You know? I don't think you're wrong, Dan. I don't think you're wrong. I'm trying to find something that doesn't have that quality to it. I mean like, yeah, but what about... And I'm like grasping at straws. I'm grasping. What about... There's gonna be something here in a second, I promise. What about access? There we go, boom. America gives you a lot of access, Dan. Yes, more likely than not. There's gonna be a profit motive attached to it. Unfortunately. However, you do at least have access to a lot, right? You're given more access. Access is something that I have really come to appreciate more since I came to America, right? And there is this dualistic way of seeing it, right? One side of it is seeing all you have access to and then having to come to the conclusion that you do not have enough money to access it. And then a sense of anger, a sense of hopelessness, a sense of frustration, resentment even can arise in your soul because like, fuck, why can't I? Why can't I? Right? I want to have yacht. But instead, you can see it as like this opportunity, right? Perspective. The other perspective is like, wow, look at how much there is out there, right? And I personally, and this is my perspective, and I know that it's not necessarily something that everybody can get on board with, but I do find some, I'm not finding maximum, but some appreciation just in witnessing someone else experience something as well, right? Like, I don't know if I have that thing in me that gets jealous when someone gets to experience something that I haven't, right? Purely from the perspective of if I see a stranger online, like go to some beautiful location, right, and they choose to share that, I usually choose to experience, again, I see it as an access thing, right? The fact that I have the internet, the fact that I have this little cell phone or my tablet means that I now get to have access to that experience. Maybe not directly, maybe not as high fidelity, but still to some point. And again, my mind, the way I've been trying to practice my experience is just in gratitude for that. To realize, wow, look at how lucky I am to get to look at mountains, even if it's through the screen. You know what I mean? Right? And that is something that America begotten. Right? Yes, there's a profit motive attached to these devices. However, a lot of the things that we have access to as experience has become very cheap, if not even free. Tooth the rest probably mean was probably it wasn't needed. Tooth the rest probably wasn't needed. God love to all goobers, goobettes, and they goobs and them goobs. Yes. Love to everyone. Every single one of you. Me too? Yes, especially you. May you be loved. We got Nancy here saying, hi all. Last night, someone's smoke alarm and or carbon dioxide alarm went off for a good amount of time and the neighborhood got to hear it. Whew. Sounds like one of those moments where we have to practice extreme mind. Be like, oh, I'm gonna not lose my mind. I'm gonna actually keep it all in my skull. Whew. Everything, every mind, just right here. I'm not going to go out there and freaking burn that house down that's making the noise. Like, I'll give you something to smoke alarm or carbon dioxide alarm about. Right, Nancy? No, we don't do that. No, we just practice mindfulness. Yes. I'm happy to have you here, Nancy. I hope you got some sleep despite that. Isn't it strange that the way we see our world is only because of how our eyes perceive the spectrum? For all we know, green plants could be blue. For all we know, my blue can be different to yours, even. Frogmeister, I like your username. Welcome. You seem like you'll be right at home in this space with us. That would drive me crazy, Nancy. Oh, it's Taco Tuesday. It is, in fact, Taco Tuesday. It is not talk about food Tuesday. I'll have you fucking know. Oof, Nancy, that's whack. Somebody pulled the fire alarm in my building last night, and I had to rush out to the place with the kiddies. It's a huge building, so I can't really take chances. You too, Dan. That is pretty whack. In my building last week, not last night, last week. Still synchronous enough. And school is out for the summer. The kids are gonna be at home. Freaking kids. Scooped up those kitties. They'll be there, come through. I'm not gonna read any food comments. It's sub bees and right. No, stop. No, no. You are not your thoughts. I don't think so, Gabs. I don't know, bro. If I'm my thoughts, then I am 5 billion things every single day. Oh my goodness. But maybe we are. Maybe we are more than just this body. I think of myself as something, like a singular thing, all right? And that singular thing is pure consciousness, the observer, the one that is unchanged, untouched, unaffected by everything, but is there lovingly for it, ceaselessly, just giving of itself. And then that part that is giving gives of itself as well, and then there is a receiving from both sides, right? The giving part of existence receives the receiver, and the receiving part of existence receives the giver, right? And it's just this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And your thoughts, I feel, is a part of the giving side, not the receiving side, right? You can give your thoughts, and I'm always here to hear them. I think there's a lot of mind for us to practice in thinking with other people the thoughts that might be limiting them, right? That is something that's interesting to me. It was actually part of my cues this morning for yoga, is that we need to leave our limiting thoughts behind, right? Not saying that we're not allowed to have them, but not taking them into our mind. Like, oh, I shouldn't try, add your thing here, right? As soon as you say, I shouldn't do one thing, then you've like already lost most of the battle, right? How about you don't? How about you don't limit yourself? Go and try. Go and fail. You want to fail a lot, right? Fail 70 times over, right? Fail so much that you lose hope. Fail more until you regain hope. And then fail again until you lose more hope again. And then again until you find some hope once more. Share some of that hope with me. When you don't have any hope, come here and I'll share some hope with you, right? I think that's the big thing for me, at least, right? Realizing that our thoughts still have a lot of weight, a lot of sway on our inner perspective. Yesterday, Teddy told me that the sports teams are training to play in humidity because they're not used to it. There is just no way to prepare for 85% humidity. We're probably gonna have to like develop some sort of new like cooling materials. I know there is some cooling materials out there, but we're probably gonna have to dress these people in those cooling materials because if their bodies literally can't evaporate fast enough, right? If like the wet bulb, they're gonna have to have some sort of super clothing. Which again, huzzah! Kind of sucks that we have to global warming ourselves close to death to develop cool tech. However, my mind practices hopefulness and fascination, like, yeah, huzzah, woo! Humans surviving, trying to kill ourselves or something. No, no. Adobo, you do abodo. Adobo. I'm dyslexic. Joe does adobo too. It's great. Instead of two eyes, I have compound eyes attached to my mind through a mystical matrix connection to this wall spider on my steering wheel. But I know you and MeltMore probably doesn't remember him and just saying the mind and the eyes are attached. Yes. Mystical matrix connection to the wall spider on my steering wheel. You know, I had an experience similar to that, Dreamtooth. I think you have heard me talk about it before. One of the first times that I went to go and camp with friends, I kept walking through spider webs, and it kept messing with me. And later in the day, as we were sitting around the fire, I looked up at the stars, and instead of seeing normal stars, I saw a web of creation. And I realized very quickly that this web of creation wasn't actually in my reality, but was instead in my mind. And the one spinning said web was what I dubbed Spider Goddess. And I had the sense that Spider Goddess looks through the eyes of all the spiders that I'll encounter in my life. And that I had to be kind to the little spiders, lest I piss off Spider Goddess. I don't know if you're going with that. Probably not. Hoopty hoops. However, Spider Goddess is pretty chill, right? She spins web of creation, not web of destruction. All right. Is that what you're saying? Did you see what happened in Belfast? Oh, don't say stuff like that, dude. Don't. No. No, I didn't see what happened in Belfast. Belfast is in South Africa. I don't want to do this. What happened in Belfast? Oh. Yeah. Humans humaning. Seems like only injuries, though. That's good. Small victories. Huh? Let's look at that instead. So, my first project in my new role is to get audio analytics working and demo it for the city. So, we're demoing Thursday, and I get to play the 911 caller. Cold? They're not prepared for the performance I'm about to give. I'm going for an Oscar. I will be the most emotionally intense and convincing 911 caller ever. I don't know if I want to know it, Dan. Like, part of me is like, tell us what you're gonna say, and then he says the things that he's gonna say, and then we get like perma banned off of YouTube or something. We're not. Dan and his attached profit models. Dan is making so much profit right now, the most profit, right? Dan is going to make so much profit that America is actually going to shut down completely. America is not even going to need any profit anymore after Dan is done with us, right? Yeah, yeah, Dan. Infinity money glitch. Gabby, go worky work, Gabs. Bye, everyone. We love you, dude. Thank you for joining us, Goobs. Bye bye. I love you, Goobs. If he's still here, love you. Love you, bro. Yeah, that's why my counter is that to melt the so called access in America is an illusion. You can't afford it, and you're in a zero sum capitalist game again, right? I take great joy just seeing the supercars that drive past us in our little Chevy Trax, right? Not a glamorous car, but it drives. It takes you from point A to point B. And then while I'm being taken from point A to point B, I'm seeing more Corvettes than anything. I've seen a lot of Corvettes. People like their Corvettes here, right? And I'm like, neat, look at that sexy ass car coming past us. Wowza, right? And I feel no, oh, I wish I had a Corvette. I don't. I don't. Driving a Corvette seems like it would be expensive, and I'd probably kill myself with it because I would drive it fast because it's fast car. Why would I? Why would I not? I would either I get die or I would get arrested. So I genuinely, seriously, Dan, appreciate getting to be the observer more than I get to appreciate being consumer, right? And again, that's like the mind practice that we're doing. That's the lens through which we look at and experience through. The access is there, right? The illusion might be the matter of you can't afford it, as you said. You can't afford it, and it's a zero-sum capitalist game. However, the way that I see this reality is that there is a little bit of a, and you're probably going to hate me for saying this, trickle down economics. Not in the ultimate sense, of course, right? Trickle down economics didn't work, right? The ultra rich didn't share their wealth. Wealth disparity is bigger than it's ever been, statistics wise. However, there is still a matter of people that have a lot of money buys nice things. And then those nice things, with the passing of time, depreciate in value. And then us normal people get to still have, by any metric, nice things without having to pay expensive person monies. I don't know if Corvettes get cheaper ever. Actually, you know what? I saw some 1990s Corvettes for like under 20 grand the other day. You can drive a freaking 1990s Corvette for less than 20 grand, right? So you can. You can drive a Corvette. Maybe it will take 20 more years to drive the new ones that are on the road right now. But You know, there's something there. Something, something, something. If that's what you want. There is a concept called the temporary embarrassed millionaire. Yeah, will you ask the interwebs about it so they can give you an AI summary? I don't even need one. The temporarily embarrassed millionaire is essentially someone that's willing to even support the billionaires, right? Because they believe that they're just like a step away from being a millionaire as well, right? They're just temporarily embarrassed. They're they're gonna be a millionaire any day now. Right. And I'm sure, as you said, Dan, there's a lot of Americans that live in that kind of space, right? Where they're willing, literally, through policy making or through voting, to snub themselves because they are temporarily embarrassed millionaires, right? They are totally going to be benefiting from all of these massive tax breaks the ultra wealthy are getting, as soon as they're just as wealthy, right? So they better. Right, Dan? I might have paraphrased a little bit. Is that your real voice? I mean, ek dink so. Ek praat eintlik Afrikaans, dis my eerste taal, maar ek kan Engels praat ook. Why does cancer exist if God loves us? God loves us so much that he allows for everything, including the possibility that a cell decides it wants to live even after it's died. All right? I don't think of God as a loving entity necessarily from the perspective of I love you specifically so much that, nothing ever bad will befall you kind of thing. I think of God's love as an everything, right? God loves us so much, he gave us everything. Everything, including the bad stuff. But that's how much he loves us, right? To not even save us, to not even be stingy and like, no, I'm not gonna give you a lot. I'll give you a lot, but I'm not gonna give you all of this. You don't need all of that, And be like, what? I thought you loved me, you say to Papa God or whatever. And then Papa God gives you everything anyway, right? Including the bad stuff, including the cancer. And then it's us as human beings, that gets to be that aspect of God. This is why I believe that loves so much that we're willing to fight the cancer. We're willing to fight the parts of the everything that we don't feel serves us. What do you use on your hair? I have a little hair food, has like beeswax and shea butter and coconut oil and stuff in it that I kind of put on my hair to give it some weight. And then I have a mousse. All right, the mousse is what helps me style it in a way where it's going to kind of stay. Yeah, that's what I do. There you go. I'm glad you think of yourself pretty positive. He resents them. Yes, I understand what Hoopy is saying. Ligma God created cancer because the user, in our reality, were upset that it doesn't have a hard difficulty mode. He created cancer because he wanted to. So many hot takes. Again, everything. Think of it as everything. Don't think of it as good or bad. Think of it as everything. Right? Everything. There's this conclusion me and Christian came to in a deep conversation at one point where we were riffing on what it is that we are. Right? And he came to this conclusion that we are like baby gods. Right? Each of us are like baby gods. And as these baby gods, we were a part of a larger family of big gods. Right? And this isn't just, I'm not saying this is how it is. This is just an idea to consider, right? It's a mark of an intelligent mind to consider an idea without considering it to be true, right? We're not saying this is true. We're just exploring a curiosity, okay? Baby gods in a family of larger gods. And then as baby gods, we had our baby birthdays, right? And in our birthday, right, we were given the ask, like, what do you want? We get asked as these baby gods that we all are. And we said everything. When we were asked what we want, we said everything. We wanted everything. And now we're getting it, right? It is a little bit scattered, right? In order to get everything, we had to be everyone. all billion of us on all 8.3 billion of us on planet Earth. That's the way we are experiencing everything collectively. However, that's what we're getting. So we're getting the everything right now, and it's sometimes a little bit much, you know, big surprise. It's almost like asking for everything is going to come with some conditions, some perspective. BSF saying good morning. Good morning to you, friend. Mepala, more like Bell Show. All hail to Spider Goddess. Mapala is the Daedric Prince of obfuscation and secrecy. Neat. Lone Buffalo, Daedric. Are we talking Skyrim lore right now? You from? Real age. You from? I from South Africa, my Indian friend. And I am 28 years old. 28 years on planet Earth now. And what a ride it's been. I am officially entering my 4th life cycle, right? 1 to 9, 9 to 18, 18 to 27. I'm now in my 4th life cycle. All right, I'm on my way to my 4th completion of my evolutionary process. And GBs, does it take practice? Oh my freaking goodness. It takes freaking relentless practice. Every second that I don't remember my practice, life is like, yeah, you're gonna get so practiced right now, life says. And I'm like, dude, or do that, or they dems, I don't know what life identifies as. I'm like, bro, chacha, dude, where's my car? And then we've had a few different perspectives shared in this space with us. Darren's, I think, is the one that resonates the most with me. That we shouldn't try to master our minds. We should try and be at peace with it. I think you're right, Darren. I think you are right about that. I am very much a master my mind kind of person. And I don't think I'm any more in control. But again, if I had to compare myself to where I've been, I would like to believe I'm more in control. I'm at the very least more in control of my actions, more in control of my output. Right. However, I'm also, I think, more quiet as a result of it. Right. Practicing a little bit of humility, maybe. Practicing some patience. Practicing breath work more so than ever before. I'm practicing a lot of breath work. Right. And there is a lot for us to grow. There's, like, I can't even imagine. Like, I keep thinking that I'm grown up. I seriously believed that I was grown up as a 14-year-old. I was big, right? I had most of my stature as a 14-year-old, and I had the ability to follow a conversation of an adult in a way where I could realize that there might be enough perspective in me to sometimes understand more than those who were trying to teach me. Right? And again, I'm not saying that I was right. I'm just saying that that's the perspective that I held. And I was very much unwilling, right, to let myself be affected. Then by the time I got to being 18, again, I believe that even more. I believe that even more perspective. I moved out of the house, got myself a job, signed a contract to pay for an apartment, which was very silly because I didn't have a job at that point. However, contracts were signed, and come month end, I could produce the money that I needed to pay for my apartment. And there was this, again, big shift in me of realizing most of adult life was just a matter of what I do every day, right? And not much had changed. I got very mindful of what it is I ate. I was not mindful at that point of my journey in sleeping, right? I would not sleep, and then I would drink coffee about it in the mornings. And a big surprise, I became insane, slowly but surely. I literally feel like I was losing my mind. Or at the very least, my mind was no longer at peace, right? I felt like I was getting more and more dangerous to myself and to society. And then that continued to spiral. And eventually I reached a point where I I blamed the job that I was working for my mental state. However, it probably was what I was doing to myself that was causing most of the dissonance, right? And then as soon as I kind of took responsibility for that dissonance that I was creating, and it only came, I want to say it like came in the last 3 years, 3-ish, 4-ish years, right? Which means that after I turned 24, 2023, that I only really start to integrate what I think an adult is supposed to be. And it just looks like a lot of mindfulness again, right? Practicing mindfulness. Be like, why am I thinking these things? Why am I feeling these things? What is it in my experience that has led me to thinking or feeling these things? Can I optimize? Can I choose to do differently certain parts of my life so that I don't end up thinking these things and feeling these things? And that's basically what they've been doing in this space, right? This space has irreversibly changed me. Showing up every day like this, putting myself in the public eye, right? And then trying to, in a live format, process the things that we're going through without trying to make it too personal, just about me, keeping it vague enough so that you can extract some perspective out of it, ideally too. It has been formative. Give me 1 second. There we go. Yeah, I thought my comments got stuck and I had to go and check. Being back again, I see there's a lot of messages here that I completely missed. Yes, yeah, like I missed a lot. Why did it just yeet my comments? Okay, back again. We got Amil loves Jesus, his username. I'm sure he's going to tell us a lot about himself. Let's see. He says, I know Jesus is God. He truly loves you. He is the only way to heaven. I beg you, please don't reject Jesus. He cares so deeply for you. Please don't gamble your soul. Hell and heaven is real, and Jesus died for your sin. Thank you for reminding me, dear friend. And to that, I'll say, I would be best friends with Jesus if he was here on planet Earth with me right now. I've had many personal meetings with Jesus in my meditations and stuff like that. And every single time I have meetings with Christ consciousness, let's call it that, it reminds me that I'm okay, right? Like one of my favorite meetings with Jesus was I was getting into a meditation. I was doing long, deep breathwork exercises. And you keep doing that until you literally start to buzz. Your entire body will literally start to buzz with energy. And then eventually I just held onto that energy that I created, buzzing inside of me, right? Held my breath, essentially. And as soon as I held my breath and closed my eyes, I saw a massive pentagram in the center of my, third eye. And I was like, literally like shocked. I was like, oh my goodness. Because I come from a very Christian family, right? And the pentagram throughout my upbringing has been associated with Satan, right? Like, oh my goodness, Satan is in my mind's eye. I thought to myself, that can't be good, I thought. And then instead of like running away, opening my eyes and trying to escape that experience, I took this like downward facing pentagram, right? Like the goat's chin and the horns up top. And I just turned it so that the point points upwards. And I saw it as a representation of like the human form, right? That you can take your human form, this star that you are, and you can use it upside down, right? You can use this energy of divinity you've been given to hurt, to harm, to exploit reality. And that would be the satanic approach. Or you can take that exact same energy, change nothing about it, and just shift it. Just turn it. And I literally, in my mind's eye, turned this whole star to be upright. And as soon as I finished doing that, I noticed there's an entity sitting to my right. And upon looking at the entity, I notice it is what I, in my mind, identified as Jesus, sitting on a beanbag. Literally just chilling on a beanbag, eating a pack of chips, just watching me. Literally just watching me, eating a pack of chips as I am doing this work. And I felt this deep sense of, I don't want to use the word approval, but affirmation, I think, is maybe a good one, that the journey that I'm on is good, right? That I don't need that help, that that help is there for me at all times, but that help pushes back to me this, I want to maybe say nonchalant, right? Unconcerned, I think is a good one. No concern whatsoever that I saw in that heart. Just this matter of like, you go, dude. Keep doing your thing. I'm here. If you ever need any help, I'm here, kind of thing. But you're the one doing the work as well. All right? Turn your energy right side up. Love you too, baby. Are you Dutch? Amper. Amper Dutch. My dad's family descends from the Netherlands. Far enough back. Emin, quick, can you do that alphabet backwards? Is there a person in there? The deputy commissioner of the NYPD is gonna be there, and I'm gonna deliver the lines with a level of enthusiasm that is not needed, but also not technically wrong. And it's gonna be very funny. Please, Dan, please, like, do a recording on your phone as well. I don't know if there's like you're signing non-disclosure agreements or something, but please. Please, I want to hear it. Hello, bro. Hello, Amar. Are you a pastor? I am not, Alan. But I welcome you here to be here with us anyway. So many Indians are here. The Indian friends know this space is going to be big. Just as I know India is going to be big. India is #1 with world population right now, right? India is popping up. Then the options are broad. You could go from a whisper to a scream and everything in between. How do you combat toxic masculinity, brother? I think it's maybe apt to identify what we consider as toxic masculinity first. I think toxic masculinity is this unwillingness to be in touch with the parts of you that feels. All right? That's the way I would identify it. Little wire. Woo! You didn't like that? Nope. There we go. Wanted to plug this light in. I didn't think it was going to last much longer. All right. Toxic masculinity is this unwillingness to identify with how you feel, right? To completely make it externalized at all times, right? I think being in touch with the feeling part of yourself, right, is the best antidote, right? The best way to combat toxic masculinity, right? And maybe you can just ask questions. When you see someone being toxically masculine, just keep asking them questions. Show up from a place of curiosity. Don't lean into the combative energy that can come with toxic masculinity. By being a better, stronger man and establishing healthy boundaries. There we go. That's a good one actually as well, Lone Buffalo. Thank you for sharing wisdom, friend. Dan saying, yes, you're getting it, Nancy. The range I'm gonna be going to this with will be shocking. Yo, Melt. Yo, Shabu. Welcome, friend. Thank you for joining us here as well. No need to antagonize and escalate. That's the big one, Locke. You're just creating more of the energy, which will probably be misdirected to someone else later. Yeah. Why Papa God and not Mama God? Well, to me, the Papa aspect of consciousness, of the experience, is like masculine and not like has penis. just masculine, right? Like a polarity. Like we can call it like the positive pole of a magnet and the negative pole of a magnet. And we have like words to identify, like positive and negative, all right? But we don't know what that is. It's just us pointing at possibilities, all right? And the part of the God experience that we're having that is masculine in my mind is the part of you that doesn't change. And the part of the experience that does change is the feminine aspect of God. That's why I call it Mama Gaia, our earth, right? It's like a mother to us. This earth is a mother to us, but it changes constantly. And we get to be the masculine observers of this constant change. 42. Who do you think wrote the tax code that allows for the tax loopholes to allow the wealthy to avoid paying taxes? The wealthy. Don't be naive. Yeah, it's true. Locke, isn't that a bit of isn't that a bit pedantic? I think I missed what Locke said. Ah, Locke is being pedantic. I see. Hey bro, perform an exorcism with 6 people summoning the most dangerous demon and talk to Satan and survive for 1 week. Do it if you have guts. Like it would get a lot of views. Please, read well. You can try. It's easy. Yes, tune in to my live stream because next week we're going to be exorcising 6 people's demons and even summoning Satan himself, chilling with him for a whole week. Join us next week for like first in a lifetime guest, Satan himself. I think you're right. Senpas Spider. That would be hilarious. I would, unironically, spend a week with Satan. I shouldn't say stuff like that, but I would. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I would fight Satan. I would literally fist fight Satan, bro. Come on, come at me, Satan. Nothing? Fucking scared, are you? Pops into my space. I would get up. First, I would get up, then I would position the camera so that you can see everything, and then I would proceed to fist fight Satan. Really, for reallys. Would I win? Would I lose? I probably would lose. I mean, he is like Satan or whatever. However, I have the power of God in me. I will smack him down. I would love that. My biology is like, yeah, let's do it. 4 day into a fast, you know, like worst possible time to get into a fist fight. But I would. I'm game for it, Spider. Their lone buffalo is also game. Boom. Technically, the wording of the 16th only allows Congress the right to levy and collect taxes. The IRS is a rogue, ungoverned agency acting under its own direction and unanswered to anyone. Yeah. Okay, homage. A nice day, my friend. I'm not gonna waste my time on someone so confidently incorrect. Never trust anyone who is 100% sure of themselves. Right? That's the wisdom I've been trying to absorb. We got Joe saying laughing instead of acting tougher kind of seems like inadvertently acting tougher. Laughing internally, but practice indifference. Recognize the judgment that arises and practice turning that to curiosity. Yeah, exactly. Right? Maybe we can like have the friends that share in this space. Mr. 42, for example, share with curiosity as well. Not at all. When she was factually wrong. Okay. Where will he even find possessed people though? Not only find possessed people, but find 6 of them. I need 6 possessed people. Damn. Probably have to start in the comment section. Home proof? Bro, what is he talking about? Keep listening. Soon you'll hear. Just breathe, Luck. Bro, are you even Christian? No, I'm not. Spider is bot. Lock. I said what I said. Scroll up. Definitely we're on the same page here. I feel it. Oh, what's your zodiac sign? I'm a Taurus. 42, no disrespect. That take is just incredibly naive. And when you come in so confidently and correct, it's hard to take you seriously. I'm sure that what he believes for a reason as well. All right. Unfortunately, we live in an age of misinformation. And it is the unaware amongst us that get the most misinformed. And it is one of those things where you might be confidently misinformed, and then It might make you feel like you're intellectual for understanding something, even though the something you understand is empirically wrong, right? Pedagogically classist. Oh, yeah. All the fact that you're so triggered by men trying to be confident is telling. You never replied. Melt holds, maybe sometimes, the perspective of the past. More often than not, even, I'll say. Hoopty hoops. I hold the perspective of the past because that is the lens, right, through which I try to grow into the future. Right? I'm like, how have I been? Has it served me? How can I be going forward to not get the same experiences that I've had before, right? If you keep doing the same things, you're going to keep getting the same results, kind of thing, right? I think it was Einstein who said, you. Is it Einstein who said that? The fractal of like, you can't fix a problem with the same mindset that created it, kind of thing, right? Meltmore, what's up with your mods, brother? Never seen this type of weirdness before in here. 42 is the lock. Oh, you have been here before, 42. That's right. I don't know, bro. You must be sharing some stuff that doesn't align, right? That's the way that I would see it. You can talk to me directly. That could help, right? Then the mods wouldn't really have too much to say. As long, of course, as you show up with mindfulness. Oh man, lock in, we stay weird. Okay, 42. I'm a liar who doesn't know anything about how tax code is written. Everyone is unique and it all works out. We show up each day anew. There we go. John knows. You nailed it, Dan. You're the one saying you're not going to do something and then does exactly what you say you want. Don't blame me. I don't know if I understood what that's supposed to mean. I just read about a Muslim man, 59 years old. He did wrong things. Aw, dude. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've seen the President of the United States, dude. Like, that kind of is the nature of life sometimes. All right. But again, why are you bringing that into your mind? Why are you keeping it in your mind? Why are you bringing it to our collective minds? Soul from the future, right? I think the best thing that we can do is not be like that. I think it's a whole different thing if you're kind of like lobbying your policymakers, your law enforcement to actually do something about these evil people. However, I don't have any authority like that, right? If I did, something just happened. If I don't, then it's going to be up to all of us. Doesn't it, European or white guy, something do the same? Yeah, a lot of them. Even. I'm saying 42, the adversarial energy you came in here with has returned to you in full. We can share differing viewpoints about making it about right or wrong, and then needing to be the winner of said argument. Yeah, right. Practicing the mastering of your mind. I am very much guilty of wanting to be the winner in a conversation as well sometimes, right? Because there is something that we have been trained to be in the society, and that is competitive, right? In so many ways. However, when it comes to conversation, and when it comes especially to sharing the ideas that you might have on your heart, competition no longer is the solution, right? Now we no longer need to be competing. We need to be collaborating. Right. And as soon as you show up with that energy of collaboration, things will be significantly easier for you. I promise. I love you, Rose. Low and Buffalo. Aw, fair enough. Didn't want to abuse the band button buff. Hey, Melt, your hair. It looks nice today. Thanks. Appreciate that, Tomo. Use it. Use it in any of the degrees of being. Exactly. Mr. ENFJ, yes. Now I am Mr. Four Letters. Start styling my hair about it. I don't know if I like that. Aditya. Oh yes, Mr. Taurus. Mr. Person born in May. Mr. Person born in May on this year, you're acting like an ENF type today. I like it. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, Aditya. Like tell me the names instead, right? Ah, Mr. Protagonist, you're acting like scientific mediator. You're acting like, you know, uh, caretaker, right? Then I can like engage with the comment better. Aditya, I care. I care about what you have to say, but I need to have the verbiage to associate. How much are you using AI to write code? You asking Dan? I think most of people are using AI to write code at this point, dude. Like you're gonna fall behind as a programmer if you don't know how to output good code. I'm supporting you for a long time, MeltMore, but I can no longer with the mods like this. I'll be unsubbing and supporting, etc. I wish you the best in life. Thank you, friend, for all of the support and subscribing that you have done before, right? Like, if you want to abandon this space based on one negative reaction to the way that you showed up in a space, then, that's up to you. I don't know if you're still here. I will welcome you back if you return, but I'm not going to be like, oh no, don't leave. Oh no. I have mastered my mind to the point where I know that everything is impermanent, right? I have had friends in this space that I have loved a lot, and then those space completely disappeared from this place for years at a time. And then when they return years later, I still hold the same space in my heart for them. I'll hold that space for you too, friend. The ability to produce reliable code is the beginning to make some of the software and tools that I'm using. What's your favorite tool to use right now, Lone Buffalo? We're sorry to see you go, but we're not here to provide you a gladiatorial debate environment. So, see you on some other channel, Mr. 42. Toxic masculinity in psychology and sociology describes a harmful cultural expectation about how men should think, feel, and behave. It does not mean that masculinity itself is toxic, nor does it mean that men are inherently toxic. That's a beautiful perspective to share, actually. Thank you, Joe. Toxic masculinity in psychology and sociology describes harmful cultural expectations about how men should think, how they should feel, how they should behave, right? So if I wear a scarf and a colorful shirt, now I'm suddenly not masculine enough because, oh, men wear black tank tops or white wife beaters, right? And they catch fish. What are you doing talking about emotions? Are you gay? Right? That is toxic masculinity. Because again, the culture expects me to be a certain way. And then if you, as a man, show up pushing that cultural expectation, that's where we see the toxicity within. Doesn't mean, as Joe said, all men, but it does mean, hey man, stop doing that kind of thing. Joe, amen, Joe. The man is too hectic. John, you do know. Don't do it, man. You're too good for that. Are you South African? Something in Russia? Yeah, I guess actually. South Afrikaans. My new family. Pop, pop, pop. Darling to Abien. Stenrus. MJ, yes. I don't know what all that means, but welcome. Albin Stenrus. Albin Stenrus sounds like an Afrikaans name as well. I feel like Satan is an allegory for arrogance and anger, even pride. That's the biggest one. Pride, dude. An allegory for pride, right? When you're so prideful that you completely end up separating yourself from all that you care about, from all that there is to love. That is the allegory of Satan for me at the very least, right? And pride looks like a bunch of different things, especially for me as this righteous indignation, like this unwillingness to see any other perspective than your own. All right. And like, again, you can hold a perspective other than your own and not accept it to be true. However, The pride part of it is letting that unfold in front of you. A gladiatorial debate because someone called me naive, unprovoked, and I simply responded with a fact of who writes the codes. Hand, hand me for that. Mods act like cops who get mad. Again, 42 lock. I have done nothing but try and be cordial in this space with you. Today's whole stream topic is about the practice that it takes to master our minds, right? And every single one of us is actively involved in that practice. We're not done. We're far from done, in fact. And again, if you kind of like cut ties, that's not a way to grow. You can, if again, you feel like there is so much lack of perspective or maybe even like direct attacks. I don't think being called naive is dangerous, right? I can be pretty naive too. In fact, I can be lots of naive, right? And sometimes I need people to let me know, hey, bro, maybe that's a little bit of a naive perspective for you to hold. And then I can grow in that perspective. Be like, you know what? I think I was naive. I think I was. However, it doesn't stop me from growing past that, continuing forward, right, with mindfulness, staying kind as much as I can to my environment, realizing that that environment ultimately is my own mind attached to my body, right? That's the environment that I'll live within. And practicing, getting good at maintaining that environment is what we do. That's what we're here for. That's what we're learning from each other. My friends are these people harassing you today. I'm unharassable, John Prince. I have a divine, unshakable aura. Yes. Ani, I saw what happened. I'm sorry you had a bad time, but you can't behave that way here. Yeah, right, coming out, firing guns. Again, there's a better way to share our points, right? And I can do that too. I can be pretty abrasive, especially if I think I'm right, right? But again, hold some room. Not a lot of room, but hold some room in your heart for being wrong, right? If you can be like, maybe I am wrong. Maybe what I'm doing is wrong. Maybe what I'm saying right now is wrong, right? Maybe. That is the antidote to pride. That's like, you know what? Oh, I'm not perfect. I just drove for the first time in over a week to see if I was capable, and I came back to chaos. Dude, Christy, are the kids at it? What happened? We were unsupervised. That's what happened. We were unsupervised. Christy K, let us know what's going on. Dream. I am my own star sign. I am a zebra from South Africa. My friend, these silly men are too much. Again, John Prince, it's up to us. Getting good at the practice of maintaining our mind space. Just like allow yourself to relax. Oh yeah. When I close my eyes, I see a little lotus flower starting to bloom in a little body of water right next to beautiful temple architecture. Looks like white marble with chrome domes. Not chrome, like bronze actually, but reflective. That is nice. Practicing some mind. I wish I was a zebra. Majestic camo donkey horse. 42, having that unshakable aura can mean that if someone calls you naive and you don't think that you are, then you let it flow right past you. You don't let these things trigger escalation because we show up for each moment anew. Yes. Right? Moment to moment, there's infinite potential. Right? That's the way we see it. There is infinite potential. You can suddenly break through to someone. Suddenly, someone could say, like, you know what? That's a very smart thing for you to say, 42, right? And the only way to get to that point is to remain open to change. And that includes yourself. The melts, you never pick up when I'm putting down. I try, Dreamtooth, but there is a little bit of mental dissonance between what it is you put down and what it is I'm actively saying and what you put down when I said it, right? It could be apt, and I notice myself doing that in your chat as well when I'm on yours, like adding some context clues as to what it is we said. However, we only have so many bits of text, right? So if I add enough context, I mustn't even say anything myself. So I feel you. Well said, Zhao. Christy echoing that sentiment. Love is true. We are all unique. End of story. Yeah. Divine experiencers having our own felt fact. I think helping means sharing things that don't align, according to Melt. But be warned, he will start it on you like to bite your head off. I can be a little bit sharp in that way, Dreamtooth. You're not wrong. I think that is something that I am trying to get better at as well, right? Like when I get frustrated, I think I stop being as kind. And I think that again, right, that is what my mind needs more practice at, to remain my most loving self, to not have any room in myself for frustration just because things aren't happening as fast as I want them to, kind of thing. To just have that, oh, this too shall pass, kind of fractal, right? Seeing the impermanence of it all and appreciate it as it is. Mafia Gorilla, sick. That sounds like that's a cool name. Turkish friend, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for taking AI pack money. You think I took AI pack money? I look like a politician. All right, stop. Collaborate and listen. Senpa Spider, you're retracting a lot of messages. I don't know if you're spamming. He's behind. I'm reading comments. Spider is gone. I'm showing up. I'm trying. I think I fell asleep and I missed the kerfuffle. Dear friend Nancy, there was no kerfuffle. There were some friends that shared perspective, and their perspectives didn't necessarily align. And in the lack of alignment, maybe some people feel unseen, right? And being unseen can be frustrating. And sometimes in those frustrations, we leave. However, if you leave in the frustration of being unseen, you guarantee that you never will be. And it takes practice to not do so. The ego is definitely not safe from being challenged in this space. Some just can't hang. Yeah, we do. Like this point of this space is conscious evolution, right? Not ego maintenance. Just somebody who couldn't play nice with others than that. Spider, is because you're retracting them. Yeah, I can't read your messages if you keep deleting them. And I might put you in timeout if you keep doing that, where I will really not be able to see them at all ever again. Don't worry and don't overthink. Good advice, Poke Chill. Whatever your mentality dwells on grows. Yeah, yeah. Like the whole which wolf are you feeding kind of thing, right? Am I gonna feed this mentality of hatefulness, mentality of anger or sadness or lack of perspective? Or am I going to feed this mentality of peace, of gratitude is the biggest one for me. Meditation is extreme mental overdwelling. Dwell on good things. Joe is dangerous. Meltmore needs to get dangerous. Nah, I think I'm dangerous enough. Incoming love and light from Australia, Gypsy Spirit Tarot. Bless you, dear friend, and thank you for joining us too. I liked and subscribed. Thank you, friend. It's nice having you here. We'll see you again soon. I do a live stream every day, right? You get to be here alongside me in this evolution. of consciousness. All of us are consciousness. All of us are actively evolving. You have been changing, right? What is that change? You haven't grown any extra fingers, right? You change in here, right? It's conscious and you're evolving. Believe in yourself. Nah, my meditation is the complete opposite of that. Not holding on to any single thought, letting the chaos flow over, each thought arising and passing by like a shooting star. That's beautiful. You're so handsome. Thanks. Nice of you to say. I stayed just to listen to your response, Melt. I didn't deserve a timeout. You missed a lot of the convo. I hope that you read it all back and that you have the ability to believe maybe your mods were wrong. I call my mods out all the time. 42 is the lock. And my mods, sometimes when they use their power, will apologize to me afterward. They'll be like, oh, I might have not done the best there in silencing that person, you know. But I think it is a matter of like attack, right? I think there was an attack vector, and that's why Sam mentioned the whole gladiatorial debate style, right? Because again, when a rightness arises and we're like, oh, actually, you're wrong. Actually, the tax code was, you know, wada wada wada. If you look at the history of it, right? Like, actually, like we can do something as simple as this. I hope you're still here, 42. But if not, I think it's apt for all of us to see that how tax has looked for the ultra wealthy in the last, since like 1970s. It went like off the board, right? Let's do the last 60 years. And then we'll show you the graph that's attached to it. Right? And that's as easy as it is, right? You can just look at that. You see, that's the way it looks. This was the 1900s. This was 1970. This is 1980. And then you can see how the tax rate has gone significantly down to basically being the bottom half of income earners. Like it's now officially lower than the bottom half of income owners, right? And then you can just ask yourself, why? Do you think that's done for the people? Or do you think that's done by the ultra wealthy, right? The 400 richest Americans. Here's another one. You see? Graph go down. 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 Like this, again, this is the statistics that we have. It's not a matter of like pointing fingers and blaming people. It's just the reality of the situation that we're in, right? We are, unfortunately, not being benefited from our tax systems, right? Literally by their design, they're built right now to profit, to benefit those that are way more wealthy than we are. And that's all we're talking about, right? Like it's just, you look at the statistics and then you can come to your own conclusions based on that. And everybody has their own perspectives. And just because your perspective isn't necessarily accepted doesn't mean that you're in danger, right? You are still very much loved. There's still room for you in this space. Sorry if you feel ignored, hoops. I'm not intentionally ignoring you. There's a lot in chat and I'm ADHD, so I focus and it's hard. I don't know. Oh, Joe is dangerous. MeltMore needs to get dangerous. I'm gay. I've never been frustrated, but I hope to get frustrated one day. I didn't know you were gay, Hoopy. Are you being serious? I never knew. And I hope you know that you're still going to be just as loved in this space, even after telling us that. Thank you for being willing to come out of this space. You're lovely. You would be a good psychologist. I probably would be, but I don't put it past myself to not bring my work home with me, right? I tend to overthink, and thinking about or being there with people as they go through all of their problems might load me. Maybe I could compartmentalize, but I can't imagine myself still thinking about the people that I care about afterwards too. Will my anxiety be cured? Please read me. You've been read, Logan. You want a card pulled? These cards are not for that, right? These cards are not going to tell you, oh yes, this card says that all of your anxieties will be cured by tomorrow. That's not what these cards are for. These cards are for giving you some perspective. So, for instance, maybe you're experiencing anxiety based on something that's coming up in your future. Maybe you're experiencing anxiety on something that's a blockage in yourself. Maybe there's anxiety and that causes some self-limiting ways of being in your life, right? Oh, I'm anxious that this girl I like is going to tell me to kick rocks if I ask her out, right? And in that way, the anxiety is a symptom of the underlying problem, right? The underlying problem could be a lack of confidence, right, in going and asking, and especially a lack of practice. That's what today's stream topic is about, right? So as soon as you're willing to go out there and do the things that your anxiety is stopping you from doing, that's going to be the best way to cure your anxiety, right? Anxiety won't be cured by anything outside of you, right? Definitely not by this deck of cards. It's pieces of paper attached or encapsulated in plastic, all right? That's what they are, right? All of the meaning that can be extracted from here comes from you, not from here, all right? This is just a little mirror that I can put up to you to see yourself. And we will see some of ourselves very soon. I'm Angela from Italy. Hi. I miss you guys. We've missed you too. It's nice to have you here today. Angela, blessing. Thank you for the great day wishes. What your mentality dwells on grows for sure. Where you put your energy matters, but it's also possible to use the idea to avoid what's growing in the shadows, the skeletons stacking up in the closet. That's why it's important to let the not so shiny star shoot by too. Sometimes those thoughts are messengers from the subconscious. If we listen without getting lost in them, we can integrate them in a healthy way. It's a beautiful point you make, Jean. Integration. Damn, that's the hardest part. Integration is the hardest part. Angela, it's always nice to see you here. Love is true. Just so everyone is clear on what happened, he split hairs over one point. He could establish a right and wrong, and then he got pissy when there was pushback and he didn't get what he wanted. That's kind of the way I saw it as well, right? Again, I feel like this space is here for us to consciously evolve, right? And even if his conclusion is, I'm now gonna unsubscribe and stop supporting this space forever because of this one bad interaction, I believe, honestly, in the deepest place of my heart, that eventually he'll learn from that. Be like, huh, is that the best way to do it? Right? And as soon as he asks that question, or she asks that question, boom, conscious evolution. Boom. It happens. It works. Right? The conscious evolution is going to happen whether you want it to or not. All right? I'm just one of those that likes to take something on. I'm like, oh, wow, I'm going to have to freaking run a marathon? Well, guess I'm going to start exercising because I don't think I'm going to enjoy it when I have to run the marathon if I don't have any practice. And we are practicing. Yeah, this mind thing that we are is actively getting practiced right now as we speak. Logan, what do you want to be when you grow up? That's a good question. I just want peace of mind. I have an abusive father. I've experienced heartbreak, etc. Logan, I'm so sorry to hear that, friend. I don't think my dad was ever abusive. The most abuse that I received, he did beat me as a child, all right? But they don't see it as abuse. They see it as bending the tree while it's young, all right? Guess what? This tree is stronger than your bending of it. Yes, they tried. They failed. to change me. And that's the thing that you need to lean into, right? That's the part of you that is going to defeat your anxiety, is realizing that despite all of the abuse, despite all of the heartbreak, there you are, right? You are. You will continue to exist. That's a kind of power. That's a kind of swagger that you need to walk around with. Like, fucking swing your shoulders. Like, fucking, I exist. Oh, you can't abuse the exist out of me. Right? Keep showing up for it, friend. I'll be showing up here with you too. Chat. Is it ethical to grant a wish from a monkey's paw to someone who could be a minor asking for a friend? I'm here to share perspective, not here to split hairs on whether people are minors or not. Have you thought about therapy? Good place to start. Therapy is not always accessible to everybody as well. Peace of mind in all areas of your lives. Thank you and good night. Thank you, Gypsy. Remembering that, sending you that good vibes too. Thrice tried with different psychiatric doctors, but no improvement. Identify with the part of you that's unchanged, Logan. It took me a very long time to get to that, right? I was very depressed as a teenager. I also got taken to therapists and psychologists. They tried to put me on drugs. None of it worked. It's only once a shift in myself happened of like, you know what? I'm actually very powerful. And I am no longer going to let myself believe anything else. That's where the true lack of anxiety comes in, because you take complete responsibility over the experience that you're having, right? Even if it's a bad one. I think it's especially important for us to take responsibility when we're having a bad experience. I'm having premium jumbo jalapeno sausages on a potato bun topped with horse. Why? Why? Why would you do that? Dude, that sounds so good. Sounds so fucking good. Suckle the spit up that I just produced. Anxiety is a normal human emotion. Unfortunately, it may come and go, sometimes unexpectedly. We can learn skills on how to handle it in a healthy way. Sometimes we do need guidance to do it. I don't know if my guidance will be enough, but at the very least, keep showing up in this space. Learn with us, grow with us, friend. No, song that made my fasted belly rumble alone, right? Jeez. You can release the photon into the pipes. It's gonna be bigger than a Chipotle burrito. No, you're not, Logan. I'm 19. You think you're ruined at 19? Dude. Nay. Stop believing that. Start recreating yourself. If you're ruined, right, see it as like the house has been reduced to only foundation, which means that you have whole house to build on this new foundation, right? Look how lucky you are. Boom. Boom, get unruined. Don't say that you're not ruined. It'll take time, but you have to be strong and pull through. Being 19 is a very sensitive age, dude. Or dudette. It's one of the hardest times to exist within. Believe you me. I remember being there too. It gets better. It gets easier controlling your inner narrative, but it takes practice. It takes a lot of practice. You have time. It might be hard right now. From experience, it won't be easy, but don't give up. You're not at fault for what's happening to you, Logan, but you're responsible for how you respond to it and capable of growing better at all. Allow yourself that gentle grace. You're not ruined. You're becoming. Oh, yeah. Taking that wisdom into myself as well. You need to understand a few things. You aren't even fully grown. Yeah. Like, I believe an adult is someone after they're 30. I don't think anyone under 30 is an adult, right? You might have access to adult things, alcohol, a driver's license, a car, property ownership, children, even, but you're not grown up. Nope. It takes a long time for the mind to grow up. And I think in today's society, it takes even longer than it used to. Change your brain. Wait a second. Yeah. You're not even fully grown. Your brain isn't even fully formed until you're 25. Exactly, right? And then only after your brain is fully formed do you have to spend another 5 years growing up, actually growing up, after your brain has been formed, right? And then are you an adult? Even after that, you still have a great deal of neuroplasticity. You can literally change your brain chemistry, your beliefs. You can control your thoughts and shape your own future and present reality. Forgive your parents. Forgive others who have wronged you. Understand they tried their best, and now you must try your best. Learn from their mistakes and become the person that you needed when you were younger. We don't feed the trolls. Dude, Lone Buffalo, I love this wisdom that you're sharing today, bro. Thank you for adding to the space. You just got even closer to becoming a mod. Closer and closer, dude. You might be the fastest person to gain mod status in this space. Feelings lie, they are just feelings. Acknowledge them, respect them, and take a moment to breathe and to think. How do you want to respond next? It's all up to you. I see Joe sending the ahs. He's trying. He's trying his darndest to ah me out of my comfortable position, but I am unshakable. If you're a good girl, maybe I'll let you go bye-bye. But if you're screaming, ain't got no ain't got no motivation. Not even a little bit. Hello. That's cute. That's better. This stream has chosen peace. Sorry, 42. We try our best to not make or take things personal. Love you, bro. I started out coming in and leaving stupid comments just for this guy to change the way that I viewed him, myself, and how we let people affect us. Nexum, it's true what Nexum says, right? Like he consistently came in here and shared like cornball. It's like this freaking cornball, right? And as you said, right, I would lie, Nexum, TBH, I would lie if I said I was completely unaffected. Like, pff, me? Corny? Never. However, today's stream topic is about practicing our mind, right? And I can be pretty corny. I know this, right? And it's not a threat to me. It's not a threat to me to have that part of me pointed out. And again, the best thing that I can do is receive you with curiosity. Be like, you know what? I can learn from this person calling me a cornball too. I'm so grateful that you're willing to share that. All right. Thank you for your love. Thank you for coming into this space, for changing the way that you view me, and especially the way you view yourself and how you'll let people affect you. Right. And again, I'm not perfect, Nexo. Like I am so far from being done in this process of growth that me and you are now both on, right? Like you have consciously evolved, literally, right? From the person that you were when you came into this space originally to the person that you are right now. An evolution has happened. You didn't grow any extra fingers. You don't have an extra pair of arms suddenly, but there's something that changed in you. And that change is the most valuable thing that we have access to, right? Because changing that way inside ourselves is going to be the way that we affect every single relationship. Your relationship with your potential boss, with your potential employees, if you want to be the boss, with your partner, with your, if you want to have children, with your dog, all right? All of that stems from that part of being unchangeable, right? The unchangeable self that is witnessing, and then change as the part of yourself that is mind and body. Well, I apologize for ever leaving those comments. You're truly inspiring, brother. You've changed me. You don't have to apologize, Nexum. I hold no grudges, all right? I open every day anew. I welcome you, friends, into the space here with me. I really do seriously appreciate every single one of you, even the people that do throw mud sometimes, right? I love mud. I used to play in mud a lot as a kid, so bring it. Bring it. We're here for you too, dear friend. Seriously, like my heart is like blushing right now, just feeling this love means so much. We try our best to not make or take things personally. It ain't easy being green. Love is true. Invincible. I feel only hollow in my life. I don't know why, man. You are making space for all of the growth that's still to come, Logan, right? Like if you feel like you're being dragged back, it's like an arrow that's being dragged back in a bow, right? In preparation for it to shoot forward. I know, corny, cheesy, a little bit maybe, but still true, right? As an 18, 19, like early 20-year-old, you do a lot of letting go, right? Biologically, we know that we spend our first couple of years being very formed by our parents. Then we spend a couple of years completely dissociating from our parents. We don't want to spend time with them in the same way anymore. And then during that process, we end up adopting a lot of beliefs about ourselves because we are in the process of growing. And then after we've done that, there is a little bit of a, at least in my personal experience, disassociation with all of those beliefs again. And then that's where the emptiness can come from, where you're like, oh, bro, I've tried to become more evolved or whatever over the last 5 years, and I've realized that I might have been wrong for most of those 5 years. And then you can feel pretty empty. But again, that's now new room for growth, like pulling out all of the dead plants out of your garden. And it looks empty, right? There's nothing growing, but that doesn't mean nothing can grow there going forward. You made the choice to stay and let us change you, Nexum. That it is, right? The power of love compels you. We love you. We love Grove Nex. Oh, so much love in chat for you too, bro. I struggled with the call to the void for no apparent reason, Logan. Give your body and brain time to settle down. It was mentally, I was mentally so chaotic for a long time. This guy too. I think I'm still there. Still pretty chaotic, but I'm finding more and more clarity somewhere in the center. The mod team is full of trolls, Nexum. We love you guys, and we're glad that you're here. Things settled, and I began to see the beauty of life. Life truly is what you make it. Read philosophy, read the Bible, reflect on your life. This is good advice, Lone Buffalo. Right? I like to see the Bible as one of the most impactful psychological dramas, right? And you can take this as you will, right? You might not agree with me, and that's fine as well. But there is so much psychology and drama that plays out in the Bible, right? And those psychologies and those dramas, in some ways, in one way or another, do arise in our lives as well. Because it is thousands of years of human experience formulated into a story that is understandable by the most basic among us, right? And I'm not saying basic as stupid, I'm saying basic as applied, right? If you're a fisher your whole life, you grew up with your dad who fishes. The only thing you need to understand is how to fish. You don't need to understand how to read, you need to understand how to write, you need to understand how to fish. And then introducing ideas to a person like that, the only way you can get through to them is by sharing psychological drama stories, right? Because they won't be able to engage with it if it's literature alone. Like, yeah, you should be a good person because I said so, right? It's easier to be like, oh, look, this person was a bad person to this person, and then the consequences that arose because of this bad action. No, 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 right? And then suddenly it's like, huh, well, I can kind of see how that could happen, right? And then there's growth. Conscious evolution occurs. And you can do that for anything. I think it's impossible. I really do believe that it's impossible to not consciously evolve. And I feel like we just show up with mindfulness, doing it on purpose instead. Very well said. It's not that we are perfect or unable to change, but it's the acknowledgement that we are always changing, as long as we are open to that change in a positive manner. Even if you're open to that change in a negative manner, that's the thing, Nexo. right? That's the power of our experience as humans as well. You can choose to devolve too, right? To degenerate. Like that's also an option. I just am very proud of you, proud of us for choosing the positive manner. The void has to exist for there to be room for creation. Joe, that is the most PC way that I can reference deletion. Yeah, love is true. The void exists. It's never gonna go away. And yet, here we are, smack dab in the middle of everything. Why? I think people perceive being genuine as being corny because you allow yourself to operate outside of the social norms and expectations. Or even say things that have been uh, oversaid, right? I think we live in a society with so much access to media these days that everything that could be said has been said, right? And then when you hear someone say something that you've heard before, it does stimulate maybe a little bit of cringe in you because you're like, oh, I know that. This person is not special for saying this. I know that, right? And then we can feel that sense of corniness of like, we've been conditioned to view that kind of vulnerability as foolishness because so many other humans predate upon others. Yeah. Yeah. Again, you've heard it before, right? So it's this frame of reference kind of thing. Showing up with curiosity, right? The don't know mind in every single exchange. Rose, that is an unfortunate reality many neurodivergent people fail to grasp, or even non neurodivergent. Society is still the prisoner's dilemma. Uh, the prisoner's dilemma? I'm thinking about the allegory of the cave, but I don't know if we're on the same page of what you mean of the prisoner's dilemma. Press your stomach, please, just once. Stomach pressed. Which protein brand do you use? I use eggs. That's my preferred protein brand. And I think you probably will be able to get away with cheaper if you do get eggs instead of a protein powder. Protein powders are nice, very efficient way to get protein. And I kind of want a protein powder as well again. But yesterday I saw, what is it, just ingredients? $60 a bag for 30 servings. And it's 20 grams of protein per serving. $60. I was like, yes, fuck. Like, why is it so expensive? It doesn't need to be $60. Like, I know that what's in here doesn't cost that much. Why? And I think there's probably markup from the establishment that we're in, and then there's probably markup from the brand name. But yeah, get eggs, probably. That's gonna be the best thing that you can get for protein. You look jacked up. Are you have abs or not? I do have abs. Yeah, I'm working on my eighth blocks, but I do have the six top ones. I am pretty jacked, it's true. But I do yoga. I do 15 to 20 minutes of yoga a day. I dance once a week, and I monitor my weight to ensure that I'm not overeating calories. And I've gotten pretty good at having the sensitivity to when I'm now overeating, right? So yeah, you got this. You got this, Lux. Keep growing. You're my spiritual guru. Namaste. You're the guru, dear friend. I am just a mirror reflecting back to you what you already know to be true. My handsome lover. He is married, so don't say him handsome. Yeah, you can say I'm handsome. Yes, say to me. OG Melt, still on live. I'm still here, Kid D. He's married, but we can all respectfully acknowledge his handsomeness. Exactly. As long as you don't get derogatory, right? I think there's a difference between sexualizing me and admiring me. I think both of them are pretty cringe from my perspective, right? Because I forget about the fact that I exist as a person sometimes. And then I'm reminded, I'm like, oh yeah, I have eyes. And I have hair on my head. But I try to forget about it. I legitimately, seriously, I actually try to forget about it because it gets in the way, right? If before I say something, I have to be like, is my hair good? Does my face look right? Do I look okay in my clothing? And then I start saying the thing I wanted to say, then I'm never going to get to say anything at all, will I? I'll just be stuck self-anxietying myself. Who the bird? Joe Bud, are you okay when someone flirts with him? Keyword respectfully. Like, damn boy, you rocking that divine aura. Love is true. Bro, I can't keep calling you an OG while you don't do anything wrong. Yeah. Calling me original gangster when I'm like a law-abiding citizen might be a little bit like... I can be gangster, okay? I can be like totally gangster. Yeah. Driving rich car, having gold chain necklace. Yeah. Yeah. Having a parrot. Hey baby. Hello. Yeah. Having bird on my hand. Yeah.
What a good girl.
You're such a good girl. Yeah. Look at you getting out when you're good. Wow. Give me a kiss. No? You want to step on my shoulder? No? You step on this shoulder? Step up. Here you go. What a good girl. What a good girl. Huh? Look at that. There's you. You see yourself? Yeah. Yeah. I do. Happy? You're happy? You happy? Happy? Yeah.
What a cookie.
You want a cookie? If you're a good girl, I'll go get you a cookie later, okay? Let's read some chat. Zoe Birdie. Optimum nutrition gold standard. Buy in bulk. Dry ingredients don't spoil. Mel, did we talk about protein? Creme brulee, we did. The egg and protein powder and some milk, right? And then blending it together and then putting it in the freezer. I'm making it today. Maybe I should. We should get optimum nutrition gold standard. We buy it in bulk. And we can save some cash. I do have some money again, so maybe I should buy myself some.
You wanna go bye-bye?
You wanna go bye-bye? Okay. Come on, step up. Ooh. Okay.
You wanna go bye-bye?
You wanna say bye-bye? Bye. Good girl. That's a good girl. Let's go get you some cookies, okay? Let's go get you some cookies. Let's go get you a cookie.
What a cookie.
I'm gonna give you this. It's gonna be all yours, though, bird. It's gonna be all yours. Step up. Good girl. Thank you. Now I'm gonna have to close this up. Show says, I'm not insecure in my relationship. I trust him to do right by our relationship while expressing himself fully in the world in whatever way is comfortable for him. And I'll support him in his growth. It's beautiful. Thank you, Jean, for echoing that sentiment. I have abs. Oh, you almost fell down. You got too close. I have abs. They just aren't visible. Everybody has abs in that way. It's true. Hey, wait, just be patient. Just be patient. I'm gonna give it to you soon. Baby. There it is. Now it's all closed up. Hey, chillax. Come on, step up. There you go. All right, we're gonna do some tricks for the friends. Can you give me a kiss? Thank you. That's nice of you. Gonna say hello? Hi. Gonna give me a high five? Wow, good girl. And let's do a spin. Spin. Wowzies. That's a good girl. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Nope. Say bye-bye. Nope. Say bye-bye. He's like, I'm gonna freaking eat this thing with my face alone. Yeah, I should let him say bye-bye before he gets his treat. Otherwise, he's like uninterested. He's like, bro, what am I saying bye-bye for? I got what I wanted. I already got what I wanted, sir. Sweetie bird, enjoy. Have fun with it. All right, we return. Yoey, love from India, Melty, Shabu. So much love to you. Thank you for making me remember that there's love for us everywhere. So, Nalak, flirting doesn't scare me. It gives me an opportunity to observe the reactions within myself. We good. We respect one another a lot. What's up, man? I like the scarf today. Interesting colors. What's the topic? Yeah, some pinkish, reddish, and browns. It's not usually the colors that I choose to wear, but it does fit this shirt pretty well. Today's topic is about the practice that it takes to master our minds. And in presenting the topic in that way, we've already had some wisdom arise that we're not supposed to try and master our minds, but instead become peaceful. Be at peace with our minds as it expresses themselves. I did show up today with this intention to talk about how we get to get better at what it is we apply our minds to, and that wisdom arose in chat as well. So that what we put our minds towards, we cultivate, kind of thing. We've had some friends joining this space reminding us that we are making a positive difference. We had some friends coming into this space showing us that we can make people feel unheard, and an unwillingness to maybe meet them halfway with where their minds are at as well. All right, not everybody is as practiced as we are, and we're learning from that experience today. Oh wait, I said that. Still appreciate it. Thank you, Tomo. Love is true. I've got a six-pack and a keg. Who still abides by the law in 2026? Me for now, right? I'm gonna be a good boy. I don't trust flying dinosaurs. Yeah, it's weird when people talk about their abs that you can't see it. Like, yeah, you have abs. It's part of your body structure. Exactly. Everybody has abs. Yeah. And seeing them isn't important. I want to say that as well, right? I definitely did push myself at one point, with the intention of having abs. I was very overweight, right? I weighed 250 pounds, 244 pounds. How much exactly is it? 106 kilograms. That was the heaviest I ever was. Frickin' pounds. Mass. 106. Oh, really? 233 pounds. Okay, so not 244 at least. How much would that be? 11? Yeah. I was 106 at my heaviest. I weighed 106 kilograms, 233 pounds at 16. All right. And I was very hard on myself. And because of the way I felt and my unwillingness to love what I saw in the mirror, I would remedy those symptoms by eating about it. All right. So it was just this negative reinforcing cycle. And then when I chose to get fit, one of the goals for me was to have a six-pack, right? Because again, that's what we're told in the aesthetic world, what's important. And I got there. However, it didn't change anything for me, right? It changed nothing, literally. Not a single thing got changed. Literally nothing, right? And that taught me a lot. It's like, if you want to have a six-pack, you should have it purely for yourself, right? They're like, oh, wow, I can see that I am low body fat percentage, right? That's basically what it is for me. For me, you know how you have like those lines on dams, right? In South Africa, we have lines that show you the dam's level, right? As it hits the wall, right? Where the hydro is built, for example, right? It has like little lines. And then you can look at those lines and be like, oh, wow, the dam is so full. That's basically what my six-pack has become for me, right? If these top blocks disappear, I'm like, okay, seems like I'm closer to 20% body weight right now, right? And then if they reappear, I know that I'm below 15. That's basically all they do at this point, right? I also don't really show my six-pack to anybody So like even in that way, it's under a shirt for the most part. My friend, I think I missed some. There we go. You should never trust them alone. They're unpredictable. My friend taught me that my friend taught me that in Japan, the sexy spot on women is the nape of the neck. It's not really noticed here, but there's a whole thing. I think the focus on abs is like that cultural exactly. And again, I hope that in me sharing that perspective, I'm helping break up these cultural expectations, right? If you want the equivalent of little lines that show you your body fat percentage, then you can pursue having six pack abs. However, if body fat percentage is not something that you care about, and again, I would recommend that you, as a male, try and stay below 20%, and as a female, try and stay below 30%. However, beyond that, it doesn't matter, right? And again, the only reason I would recommend is just because of the statistics, right? The mortality data attached to higher numbers than that. But if you're healthy and you're taking good care of yourself, right? You're sleeping enough, you're doing some physical activity, going for a walk, doing 10 squats 5 times a day, right? If you're just literally, I'm not even joking, if you're just doing 10 squats, air squats, you don't even have to have weight on you, 5 times a day, that will be a very good metric, right? For you to track. Your body will thank you down the line for that. Hey everyone, dry historian. Hey you. Thank you for joining us too. We got Joe saying Yo-Yo Parkway. It's been a heavy day full of introspection and I like it. What's good? Our historian, Christy, celebrating having you here too. That's wholesome. Okay, you said 16. Maybe I have to take that back. I didn't realize you were talking about before long ago. Did you share some perspective, Tomo? About the overweight version of me? Yeah, at 16, I was 133 pounds. I thought it was 150, right? Or I rounded up to 150 from 144, but seems I was lighter than I thought I was. Still heavy, right? I still have stretch marks here in the back, all around my waist, my love handles. Here, I have stretch marks as well from how fat I was, right? And those lines will never go away. And at this point in my life, I barely notice them as well. Right, so it is one of those things of like, Naren joining us, not N. Dude, how are you? How's life treating you? It's nice having you here with us. We've been having conversations today about the practice that it takes to master your mind and how it lead us here at the end to how mind mastery allowed me to take good care of my body to the point where I lost a lot of the weight that I was carrying mentally and physically at that point in my life, and feeling lighter, right? Being more at peace with my mind because it doesn't have the same tools to tell me that I'm wrong, that there's something wrong with me. After being sick, I learned to love my body for what it is and what I can do and what it can do for me. What it looks like in the mirror is for me, not others, and it was an important adjustment to make. Try. I feel like we're on the same path in that way. Right? How you look in the mirror is very much for you, right? There's this beautiful idea, right? Very beautiful idea. And I'm trying to formulate it perfectly in my mind so I can share it in a way that it's as impactful as it was for me the very first time that I heard it. And it goes, the face you have right now, whatever it looks like, right? Pimples, beard, lack of beard, eyebrows all over the place or perfectly maintained, right? The face underlying it is the face of the person that you loved the most in your previous life. Is it a Japanese belief? Hey Google, what culture does the idea come from that the face that you have right now is the face of the person that you loved the most in your previous life? Japanese. Yeah, I did think so. I did say that, right? The idea originates from a popular Japanese urban legend and superstitious folklore. It is frequently shared across social media as a romantic concept regarding reincarnation. I don't see it as romance. I see it as an awareness to hold for yourself, right? The face that you see in the mirror is the face of the person that you loved the most in your previous life, right? And if you like can look at yourself in that way, right? To think of the person that you see in the mirror being someone that you loved more than anything in your previous existence, it carries a lot of weight, right? And I think that's what you're saying as well, Dry Historian, right? As soon as you adjust that way in looking at yourself in the mirror, everything changes. Yeah, that's what happens on the MeltMore show when you get right into introspection. That's why I come here. We appreciate the way that you introspect alongside us, dear friend. Thank you for finding yourself introspecting alongside us. Yo, Naren, hope you're well, friend. It ain't always for the faint of heart, Parkway, but it certainly is always additional perspective. We grow. And we have found ourselves at the end of this conversation today, having grown. I feel the few things that came to my mind very strongly. I can be a very master your mind, right? Serious, mastering, involved, mechanical, engineering. However, peace with your mind is the lesson that came from Mojo. Was it Mojo? Or Darren? I think it might have been Darren, actually. Right? Being at peace with our minds. Then we talked a little bit about hopefulness, hopelessness, actually, as well, and feeling like we're ruined, right? That we're empty, that we're numb, right? And giving the perspective of how that is room for us to grow. We talked a little bit about differing perspectives, right, as it relates to our current state of existence, right? Then we learned how it is a kind of mind practice. We learned how to not be, potentially, in our projections of what we think is right or is wrong. We've learned that coming into a space, believing our perspective to be absolutely right, begets resistance, right? And again, I'll echo the sentiment that it's best to not be 100% sure of anything, right? It's good to be 99% sure, but do leave some room in yourself for growth, right? That the antidote to pride in that way is knowing that you don't know everything and that that's okay, that it's good even, right? If you did know everything, life instantly becomes boring because now what? You already know, right? What's the point? Right? It's like watching the movie that you've already watched again. Right? And sure, you can still appreciate the movie watching it again, but it doesn't make it as interesting. Right? And I think life is going to be very interesting, especially with how much access we have to it. Yo, Mel, I don't know if I told you, but I've been doing these debates on Monday nights and Friday nights. It's the same dude I was up until like 4 a.m. this morning debating this dude in California. Parkway, that sounds like it could be a lot of fun. However, the part of me that's like dad energy, like wants you to not go to bed at 4 a.m., right? But that's just my own bias. I want you to get to sleep at an appropriate time. Maybe you should still have your debates, but maybe you should have like a hard clock off time. Like, okay, oh, we've debated for 2 hours, right? Let's write down where we're at right now. What's your argument? Uh-huh. This is my argument. Uh-huh. We'll pick up from here next time. All right. Yeah, everything in moderation. It's true. It's true, Dry Historian. I have definitely in my life gone through a lot of lack of moderation, right? Especially as it relates to like my festival experiences where I also go to bed at like 6 a.m. in the mornings. but it did affect me. It did affect me in a lot of ways where I grew, but I potentially could have taken better care of myself as well. Life is a movie, and love is a song. That's nice, Tomo. I like that. Can one of you friends tell me when to stop? When I see stops in chat, I will pull the card that is under my thumb. I love that, Tomo. There it is. Love is true. Let's see. Stop, Naren. Naren, okay. Oh. Again, we pulled wild orchids. Like, the first thing that I thought about, Naren, when I saw your stop, is that, oh, you're still here, right? And this card is about something hidden. And it's almost like you were hidden. Little eyes piercing from behind the chat wall, staring into this space as it continues to bloom. Yes. I feel it's apt. I used to pull so many all-nighters at university. That's part of the why that I got sick. Yeah, you would, oh. You need sleep. Sleep is of utmost importance. Literally. Probably the most important thing that you can do for your well-being is sleeping appropriately. And I'm being serious. I'm not being facetious. Like, seriously. I'm sleeping really well since I started fasting, which is kind of surprising to me. Like, my recovery scores are insane. Like, my HRV is above 60 pretty consistently now that I'm fasting. All right. Like, I've seen it drop as low as 29 when I like sleep with high stress. This level of stress in my sleep literally like flatlined. like I have no sleep stress whatsoever. Take good care of yourself, bro. Oh, that's Dry Historian. Yeah, I hear you on that, brother. I don't want to be up so late. It's just the time he has available and that I got the day off. It's also that I'm highly addicted to debating right now. So I was doing and I was getting fixed all night. So all I was doing was getting fixed all night. I feel you, bro. Getting your fix of debating. I've seen that energy in you. And I don't think it's a bad thing, Dry Historian. Nope. Combat Journey. I don't think it's a bad thing that you are practicing your ability to debate. Right? I feel like it's going to be a valuable skill in our modern society. However, and I've shared this with you as well, right? The way that we debate, like showing up from the perspective of realizing that that is what we're doing. We're just sharing differing perspectives. We're not saying with absolute certainty that we are 100% right. We're just learning from one another, right? Gaining that collective perspective. Dude needs to fire his barber. I cut my own hair, dude. Right? So I feel like in that way, maybe I should fire my own barber. You want to send me some cash so I can get my hair cut by a professional? Right? What's that? Nuh-uh. Well, then you ain't got room to speak, do you? Right? And you're just like saying a bunch of nothing. And that's okay. Right? You can speak gibberish. We welcome that too. We have a friend that almost primarily, right, at least 50% of his comments is gibberish speak. Uh, but but if you want to give me advice on my hair, then it needs some money. So you need to put some weight. You need to put some weight behind your words. You can't just throw some nonsense out there. All right, dude. I'm sorry if this has already been covered, but can you explain fasting? I'd be happy to, Tomokarm. I am in a fasted state right now, right? This is day 4 of not eating any food. I take my vitamins, I drink salt water, and I will have coffee and creatine, right? Those are the things that I am willing to take in. All of those things contain 0 calories. So when you go into a fasting state, you essentially activate a bunch of pathways in your body, right? Amongst them are autophagy pathways, amongst them is energy transition pathways, amongst them are hormone release pathways, right? So at the first few days of you going into a fast, you're basically depleting all of the glycogen that you have in your muscles and that you have in your liver. Right. After you do that, after you have no more stored glycogen, your body still needs energy to continue functioning. So then it instantly goes into what's called ketosis, right? Ketosis means that your body uses ketone bodies as its primary fuel source. And that's the state that I'm in right now, right? My body is literally burning fat, turning into ketones, and even liver can like make its own glucose as well, technically. And then it's sending those ketones and maybe like micro amounts of glucose to my brain, right? However, because I am in a fasted state, there are AMP pathways, right? And AMPK pathways as well. Those pathways are essentially responsible for detecting if I have calories in my body. And as soon as it detects that, wait a second, this person hasn't been eating, then those pathways get activated. And they come with a bunch of hormone releases, right? Growth hormone is one of them. Even like dropping your ghrelin, weirdly enough, too, right? It stops making you hungry and it goes into a defensive mode, right? Autophagy means eating dead cells. So that's one of the first things your body goes into. Is it goes into this keto state, and then instead of like, dude is licking the pillows, instead of like burning or manufacturing cells indiscriminately, right? It suddenly gets very precise because it's like, oh shit, sorry for the profanity, I can't just do whatever I want. If I do whatever I want, there won't be enough energy at the end of it to keep doing whatever I want, right? When you're eating food day in, day out, your body doesn't really have the same stakes, right? Because it can just keep building, right? It's gonna, I can fix the problems later kind of thing. When you go into a fasted state, you're like, no, there is no later. Right now is the time to fix problem, right? And then you reset your metabolic health. You have something called a gut slime layer, right? You literally have a layer of slime that covers your entire gut, your intestines, right? And when you're constantly eating food, that slime layer has to constantly be there, active. When you stop eating food, you actually give your body a chance to flush all of that slime out of you and then regenerate a new layer of slime. Like, there's a lot to fasting. Fasting is awesome, right? I also personally believe it's the best way to lose weight, right? Because when you're just eating in a calorie deficit, you're not activating all of these pathways. You're literally then starving yourself, right, of calories. When you're fasting, I don't see it as starvation. I see it as an energy transition, right? And then again, there's a lot of mindfulness that has to go into it. I did a 2-week fast when I was 18. So it's been like 9+ years for me or a decade. Oh my goodness, it's been a decade for me of like having this practice as a part of my life. And then there's like longevity studies, right, where going into a fasted state makes you age slower. And do your own research. If you do want to start doing it, right, if you can afford it, have a medical professional like test you, like do your blood work, like make sure that you're not anorexic, right? If you have some body fat on your body, you can fast. However, it can be dangerous if you're already in a skinny position to push yourself past that point as well. There's a lot of interesting things to learn about in that process. And I thank you for asking. I hope I explained it adequately. There's also differences, right? The longer you go for, the different kind of like pathways, like the hormones peak around day 4, right? That's where you get like most of your hormonal releases. However, I'm gonna go until day 5 because that's when we see our metabolic kind of like energy systems reset, right? Where it's like, oh, this is a long-term thing. This is not just like a finicky, just like a little bit. I need to change some things about myself going forward. Yeah. Cast is projecting in his comments that his haircut makes me feel things. Cast has big feelings, patience, while they learn to deal with them. Melt, I'm starting to think that you took these cards to whoever made your shirts and was like, just copy these cards and make me shirts. All right. It does have the same colors. I don't have much green on, technically, but there is definitely some blues in this too. The leafies look similar too. Your hair is fine. I don't know what they're talking about. Dry historian. I'm sure that it's a jealousy thing, right? It's either that or they're like, "Oh, you're trying to hide that you're balding," and I'm like, "I guess I have like, what do they call them? Peaks, all right." But it's about styling, right? I can shave my hair as well and be like, okay, now I'm gonna be shaved head Melt, but that doesn't give me anything to style. I have fun with it. It is literally just about having fun with it, right? And I do think some people uh, are not having fun. They're having so little fun. They're like, I'm gonna fucking make sure you don't have fun either. Remember me, Rejul. I can. I can remember you more. I can even remember you down to the previous things that you've said in this space. You were asking what FIFA team I support last time, right? Yeah, you remembered. The internet remembers all, and eventually I will be so integrated with the internet that I won't even have to check. I'll just know. It'll just happen automatically for me. I'm sending you love. Welcome back into space. To me, that makes a lot of sense about the fasting. It's very important today, even if you eat very well, to try to go to bed with your food as digested as possible. Yeah, digesting takes energy, right? And if you're sleeping, then some of your energy is being put towards digesting and not towards regeneration, right? Towards washing your brain, kind of thing. It doesn't literally work like that. But if I could give you a metaphor, your body has a lot of work to do while you sleep. Yeah. There we go. We're on the same path. If you have a lot of food in you, it just distracts from that work. Well, the way I debate is very much combat oriented attack, pretty hard and fierce. But what I rely on is evidence and proving things. I've seen this about you, Combat Journey. And again, right, I'm not saying that you're wrong in having that approach, right? But I think you should, and this is my own projection, I think you should attack with a foam sword, right? That's the way that I see it. Like, have your attacks, right? Be combat oriented with your attacks, but wield a foam sword, right? Don't wield something sharp. Wield something that's just gonna go poop and be like, hey, I didn't expect to get knocked like that, right? But not like putting wounds in people, right? Yeah, halfway. You get what I'm saying? Take the future. Take that future, that past, use it to make right now magnificent. Oh yeah, Darren knows. Fasting is good only if you do it properly and safely. You also monitor your health and you take your proper vitamins. Plenty of people aren't doing that, and I commend you for that, Melt. Truly. Thank you, friend. It is true what you're saying, Dry Story, and it's very easy to hurt yourself, right? Like, I make sure I get B vitamins and a lot. Like, a lot of B vitamins, all right? Like, I want to give you details, but you don't need any. I take magnesium, that's a good one. I take D vitamins. I take vitamin C and vitamin D3. I think I've said that, and K2, right? Those are my primary ones. I'm not missing anything. I do still take technically my omegas, and that might actually be kicking me out of ketosis or kicking me out of my AMP like K pathways, but it's such a small volume. It's like less than a gram, right? Which is like 9 calories, right? So I shouldn't be breaking out of my fast. And then salt. Salt is the biggest one that people kind of omit because when you're going into a fasted or a keto state, one of the first thing your body does is it no longer has the ability to hold on to salt as much anymore, and then it just flushes a lot of it away. Naren sending a question mark in chat. Are you still waiting on your reading, Naren? I'm so sorry, friend. I'm getting back to it. Interesting. I like the idea. Yeah, I have fasted for a long time, right? And that's also why I, as Dry Historian said, that I'm doing it the right way, because I've done it the wrong way plenty. And when you do it the wrong way, you feel horrible, right? It feels like you're dying. When you do it the right way, you feel energized and at peace and capable and powerful. All right, Darren, something hidden. That's one of the reasons I went away when I was sick. It was because the fasting was not good for my mental health, but I can handle it a lot better now. I look forward to hearing your continued growth in that way too, Dry Historian. Yeah, you can also be sick in your fasting as well, right? If you're doing it purely for the sake of losing a couple of numbers on the scale, right? And there's no other reasoning behind it, right? Like you're like, I don't need salt, I don't need vitamins, I don't need water, I need number go down on scale. Then it's like, geez, do you need that? Do you need that? I needed a little bit of a metabolic reset because I was overdoing it, right? We made a bunch of lasagna, like a lot, like so much lasagna, which is great. However, I love lasagna, like too much. And my love for lasagna and the amount of lasagna we had, a kiss. And then I gained 15 pounds. Not exactly. I gained like 11 pounds in 4 days. Most of it was probably water weight. How do you prepare for a fast melt? I don't do that part perfectly, technically, Sam. I should probably be like stacking myself with like high, and I think we did eat high nutrient food at the very least. We had like tuna and like the last couple of meals I had was tuna and lasagna. However, the night before I actually started my fast, the last meal that I had was Mexican food. All right, I had a tortilla that was loaded with cheese, pieces of meat, and peppers, encapsulated on itself, and some rice and some beans, and then of course the tortilla chips. So I don't think I prepared the best that I could have. The best way to prepare is probably hydration is key. You're completely right. The best way to prepare is probably to make sure that you get all of your micronutrients beforehand, right? One of the things that Joe recommended is actually like you start by cutting out like all fruits, right? And then you start by cutting out all vegetables, and then you cut out all meats, and you only maybe like drink like things with light calories, and then you enter your fasting state. For me personally, when I cut things, right, I get ravenously hungry. And I only start getting the benefits of the hunger suppression after I'm directly in the fasting state. And it's a little bit hard to get there sometimes. That is the hardest part of it. Having a game plan, I think, helps as well, right? For me personally, getting into a fast, I usually do it from this perspective of like, hey, why is it that I'm fasting, right? And for me, it was this metabolic thing where my brain started getting foggy, and I started feeling my mental health being affected by the fact that I was overdoing it, right? It's almost like I call myself out, being like, hey, dude, what are you doing? And then I'm like, oh, yeah, I probably shouldn't be doing that. And it's like, yeah, what are we going to do instead? And then I'm like, well, I could fast for a while. And it's like, yeah, maybe that could be helpful. How long do we want to fast for? And then I do sometimes have goals in mind, right? One of them is like I notice and I'll pinch at like my fat supplies, right? And because I have spent so much time with myself in that way, I know where there's too much on my body, right? And when I reach that point of too much, that's like a good sign for me that I'm supposed to shift into the reducing the too much that I am noticing. So yeah, it's definitely a complicated one. Making sure that you are hydrated well enough, making sure that you have salt in your system. Salt is very important, like really important, right? And that's one of the things that people kind of like forget about more often than not with fasting as well. That's one reason I went away. Yeah, dry historian knows. What's your average on income with this YouTube video? Tell me if you're comfortable. Like I can show you the numbers, bro. I don't make a lot, but I am more than willing to share to those that are curious. Let me go to analytics, let me go to revenue, and then here I can show you, right, for the last couple of months. April, January, February, March, April, May, June, and then that's the number value, right? So January I made 147 bucks. So let me do this. No, stop that. Thank you. Sweet. All right. Let's go back here. So in January, let's average out like 30 streams. I made 147 daras, divide by 30. So I made like an average of $5 a stream, right? In February, it was 60. I don't have to do that math. I made about $2, right? And then it was 120, so I made about $4. And then I got 86, and then 83, and it's been $10 this month. So yeah, between actually I don't go below 60 that often, at least for the last couple of months. Between $2 and $5 a live stream, right? If you average it all up and put it in the same thing. Some streams do better than others. Most of the money that I make come directly from donations though, right? It's very much you friends being willing to share your abundance with me. YouTube pays me nothing. I don't monetize, or my channel is monetized, but I don't advertise my channel, right? I don't activate ads for every single one of my videos. Some of my videos I think do have ads back in the day. Back in that day, I wanted to see if activating ads would increase my exposure, because maybe YouTube has more of an incentive to boost my videos if they can put ads on it. However, I realized that in this journey, it's way more important to me that we have a stream of consciousness going on here than it is for me to make 2 cents off of you, getting interrupted like, so I'm going to tell you this awesome thing about my life, and then suddenly there's an ad for some sort of brain damage mobile game, and then you have to come back in the space, right? Now all of this momentum we've built in this mental space suddenly gets dissipated because I want 2 cents. Nay. Nay, I don't think so. I'd rather not. So yeah, I could probably make more money doing this, Raju, but money is not the objective. I can make a lot more money doing anything else, right? Like I can work at McDonald's for $7 an hour instead of $7 a day. But yeah, that's not what I'm here for. Hydration is key. Hydration is much more than just drinking water. Exactly, right? How hydrated you are is literally attached to your salt content in your body too. Refer to Dr. Jason Huang regarding fasting. Also look into USSR fasting clinics. Hey, you got your account back. He did. When I'm fully prepared, I just start cutting out the non-essentials first. I've been big on all kinds of candies and cookies and fun carbs lately. Those should be cut out first. That's the stuff that kind of like pushed me towards it too. Hair like that eats combs, Raven. It's true. And I do comb my hair, thank you very much, right? I comb it up here, and I comb it back there, right? It is getting long, right? So very soon, it won't listen to my moves and stuff anymore, and I'll have to put it somewhere else. However, for now, it's still stylable. I do go directly to the points where we actually know what we actually can prove, but I do think it's the text that makes me sound like a little worse. If you saw me live, I'm pretty polite about it. I do believe you. I think you're right. Right? Text can be pretty sharp because there's no nuance behind it. It's just like matter of fact. I can be pretty matter of fact too. And I have seen it push people away more often than it pulls people in. It's the soft part of me being like, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe I do look stupid. Gets people to where I can be like, no, actually the facts say that more people have said I look good than you saying I look stupid. So you must be wrong. Right? Where I'm like, you know what? From your perspective, maybe I do look a little bit silly. And that's okay. That's completely fine. How much is from stream, from videos, and from donations? Pretty much 99% from donations. No, I should say like 90% from donations, maybe 10% from memberships, like you are a member of the channel right now. And ads, literally nothing. From videos also, like I showed you this before. You want to see this? Check this. Yeah, there we go. So there's my video performance. There's my There's my video performance. There's my shorts performance, and there's my live stream performance. All right. So I have made a total of 5 cents in the last 28 days making videos online. This guy is fucking rolling in 5 cents right now. So yeah, making money on YouTube is definitely not easy. I think it is definitely the best platform to try and create upon. All right, I don't think there's anyone that's better. However, if I was completely motivated by money, I would be gone. Long time. Long time. This is not about money for me. This is about conscious evolution. Yes. It's about the commitment that I made and the deliberate decision that it will be so. Nothing can demotivate me. I am infinitely powerful. Hey, Brittany. It's nice having you here with us, friend. Welcome. Noodle, the poodle. Lol, advertise. Whack Arnold's. You could always add tone tags. If you're down Parkway, that's true. You can be like typing, hashtag playful, hashtag tongue in cheek, hashtag poking fun. Right? And then we're gonna be like, oh, I see what's going on here. Wow, 5 cents. Crazy, right? Oh yeah, I got 5 cents. You can't buy anything with 5 cents. Hey, I don't need anything. So that's like 5 cents. Right in my pocket. Oh yeah. All right. I actually buy vitamins with my YouTube revenue more than anything. That's literally what most of my YouTube revenue goes to. I can basically buy all the vitamins that I need for 2 months for around $60 or something. So that's basically where all of my YouTube money has been going. It's just getting my magnesium and fish oils and B vitamins in. All right. I have further ado. I'm sure Naren has went back into hiding. There it is. All right. Something is hidden. Not intentional. All right. We're not trying to deceive. But something may be hidden. Lush and verdant, these wild orchids honor the exquisite beauty of the plant kingdom. Embedded in this card is the geometry of the star tetrahedron. However, something is hidden. I'm here. No, Naren is here. He's waiting. He's like, bro, any second now, I'm gonna hear my card read. And the second is now. Something is hidden, Naren. Eyes look out from 2 green hearts. Quietly watching and waiting to see what will be revealed. The dragonfly is here to help you dispel illusion. You see that dragonfly up there? Green one too. And here it goes. This card asks you to look within and contemplate what you may be hiding or what is being hidden from. This is not about intentional deception. There is no sense of trickery or lies. Nevertheless, something you have not considered may be affecting your inquiry. View the beauty of these wild orchids and ask your inner knowing. To uncover things hidden so that you may gain a broader perspective of your current situation. Simply recognizing that you are holding back may prompt your awareness to reveal what has been unseen. Your willingness to bring to awareness, your willingness to bring to light things concealed may open the doors of your perception and will strengthen your ability to experience the wholeness of the situation. The reverse meaning goes, if you are unable to see the whole, be content in your illusion. If you are unable to see the whole, be content in your illusion. Today's stream topic was about mastering the mind. You cannot know all that you are. It is too vast. There is a lot that is hidden from you. Not intentionally. There's no deception. Realize that you are experiencing a sort of illusion and find contentment. Master your mind, slowly but surely. Mr. Buffalo being like, here I am, a lone buffalo, standing in chat. I'm just a simple buffalo, growing here alongside us anyway. Lone bee, I hope you be happy that you joined us today. What a pleasure it was to share again in this space, to consciously evolve alongside each other in learning what it is we're here to be. Peaceful with our own minds, aware of our own perspective, potential judgments of this world, growing in our expression little by little. Both were good ones. You are awesome, Melty. I am you. As me, experiencing this world alongside you as us. And I look forward to our continued growth. Dear friends, thank you, Darren, for sending that love. It makes my heart feel all warm and gooey. I appreciate you, friends. And I look forward to seeing you again real soon. Tomorrow again. What a long stream, Mel. Thanks. Thank you, Darren. Naren, for joining us too. It's such a pleasure. Leaving already? I'm peacing out. Kiddy, it's time for me to do something else. I appreciate you for doing this with me today. I'll see you again real soon. Tomorrow. Another opportunity for us to shenaniganize. Goodbyes. I love you, friends.